Where are you from? Yes, where are you from? I'm glad you asked me twice. Well, here we are. We are back. Where are you from? As we established in the last village, I'm from Steventon, South Oxfordshire, but tonight, once again, we come not live, but direct. We are over the border. We're over the border in West Berkshire. He gone over the border, Sheriff. You never catch him now. Yeah, that dang stiffy boy ain't gonna get the better of me. Yeah, we'll be back in Steventon soon enough. Guaranteed. We'll definitely go back there for another little sit on the deck chair somewhere on location. But today we're going to get into it. We are going to start the bastard. As they say, I showed you the cover last time, didn't we? Here we go. This is what we're reading, The Fate of Douglas Blouse by Matt Frame. That's me. For anyone who doesn't know. It's the back cover. Forgive us our trespasses. Railway line trespasses. You put two and two together. You ain't bloody daft. He ain't daft. He ain't daft. Shout out to my friend Jason. Actually, really needs to have a shout out because he helped me put all this together, and he's just a lovely, lovely fella. So yeah, big up, Boyson. You are one of the best. Yeah, these will be available to purchase. You know, at some point. But what we're going to do is we're going to read it, see if you like it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be doing a hard sell, going, oh, please, buy me book, going on bloody Sunday brunch. Oh, so here you've got a book out.
Yeah, it's available everywhere.
In all good bookshops and some really terrible ones. No, we're not going to be doing that. We're not going to be doing that. We're just here to read a story to you. A little disclaimer. This is candid. I'm not going to do edits or retakes because I can't be bothered. Right? So it's a bit like the Daniel Day-Lewis film, There Will Be Blood, or in this case, There Will Be Fuck-Ups. Bear with me. I'm going to try and read as nicely as I can in my best elocution. I'm going to really try hard. I've got me cup of tea. The old rural rampage branding.
Cheers. Just wet me whistle. Yeah, just wet me whistle. Oh, that's better. That's a lovely cup of tea, mate.
So yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna start the bastard today. We did the old we did the bloib, didn't we? We did the bloib. Must show you this. Another thing that Jason did, because he's so bloody talented. Do that map. Steventon, yeah? South Oxfordshire. Go there. Go there. Spend your money. Throw your money around. Pump it into the local economy. But yeah, everyone loves a map, don't they? We all love a map. Can't have a book without a map. Yeah, so we did the bloib. I'm not going to waffle on too much. Probably waffled on enough already. So, this book, The Fate of Douglas Blouse, starts with a prologue. And that's just what we're going to read today. It's the prologue. October 1987.
Just have one more little sip of that pipe, yeah.
Oh, are you sitting like shit's about to go down? Then I'll begin. I am God, the man in the dark overalls messianically proclaimed, striding out of the causeway's dark tunnel of horse chestnut trees and onto the pavement next to the war memorial. Looking at the man with his arms held out in a Christ-like pose after once again bringing light to the world, Douglas Blouse, standing with his father on the opposite side of the road, almost believed him. The man claiming to be God and wearing an enormous grin stood on the high street of the village of Steventon, which after nearly 4 nights spent in complete darkness was once again bathed in the familiar and reassuring artificial glow of the streetlights overhead. In their homes, people were turning their television sets back onto their favourite programmes. Electric kettles were bubbling and boiling in the kitchen. School uniforms were being hastily washed, dried and ironed, and the candles that had been illuminating those same homes for the past few nights were, with a palpable sense of relief, finally being extinguished. It turned out that God, real name Mike, actually worked with the electricity board, and after the winds came seemingly out of nowhere on the night of Thursday, 15th of October 1987, God, along with many others who shared his profession, had been an extremely busy man. The whole of the southeast of England had been pretty much without power since the storm arrived, wreaking unprecedented damage and swathing a path of destruction across the south of England. In the bubble of their little village, power lines had been damaged, trees had been uprooted, roof tiles had been blown off and dustbins rolled in the street, spewing their contents and sending litter swirling into the air. Douglas Blouse was glad that the storm hadn't come the week before, otherwise they would have missed his dad appearing on Bullseye. It seemed that almost everyone in the village had seen him on telly, and they had all congratulated him on how well he'd done. Now even God himself offered his warm congratulations, and the caravan was due to arrive next week. Douglas thought that whoever had been on last night's episode must have been pretty disappointed after the power cut. Douglas hadn't watched television now since Thursday night, just as the wind had really started picking up. When he woke up on Friday morning, the TV didn't work. Nothing did, in their house or anyone else's for that matter. Nearly 4 whole days now without television or music. He would be sure to switch it on when he got home tonight though, if Mum hadn't done so already. He had school in the morning, but he didn't care. He wanted to watch something, anything, just to know it was all right again, and listen to music. Maybe both at the same time, just to make up for it. They'd been given the Friday off following the storm. It looked as if everyone had, including the adults. It was like a snow day, only this time it was branches, tiles and rubbish that covered the streets and hampered people's progress to either work or school. For Douglas, the weekend had been fun, wandering around the village, looking at all the damage and destruction the storm had brought, climbing on parts of fallen trees on the village green that only a few days ago he'd been gazing up at, looking from the railway bridge down onto the tracks at the workmen trying to clear the fallen branches and debris that littered the railway in an attempt to get the trains running back to normal. Douglas had thought how dangerous it must be for the workmen on the railway, but also kind of fun. It had all made for good entertainment and a welcome distraction, but he had to go back to school in the morning to start the new week, then tomorrow, and then the next day, and the next day, and so it would go on, forever it seemed. Secondary school, big school, had started for him in September, and he was not enjoying it one bit. He'd never felt so out of his depth. It wasn't like at primary school. Primary was small and everyone knew everyone, even if they weren't necessarily friends. Plus he couldn't make his own way to school anymore. Now, instead of the short walk down the causeway, he was having to catch the bus, the shelter of which had been blown away by the storm on Thursday night, to make the daunting 4-mile journey into town with the other children, some of whom attended his new school, some of whom didn't, some of whom are his age, some older, a lot older, and bigger, much bigger. Dad had assured him that everything was going to be okay with school and that he shouldn't worry, and Douglas believed him. Why shouldn't he? Douglas now stood with his dad in the restored illumination of the high street. The storm had passed and a calm had been re-established in their village. A sense of normality had returned. Maybe it would all be okay after all. Douglas tried to put any thoughts of school or bus rides or bigger kids out of his mind. He looked up at his dad, still chatting affably with electricity board God, blissfully unaware that in just 2 weeks from now his father would be gone and a new storm would be on the horizon, one that would build in intensity over the next 6 years, 6 long and painful years, and it would be one that would once again bring devastation to their village. So there you go. We are away. That is the prologue. Tune in next time and we'll really get into it proper. There's your prologue. See what you make of that. I think Sean wants to have a word. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, thank you, Sean. And be sure to tell all your friends. And better yet, tell your enemies. Yes, thank you. Thanks for listening. I do hope you'll tune in next time, because we'll really get into it then. Things get started. So until next time, goodbye. God bless you. I've been Matt Frame. This has been the Fate of Douglas Blouse. And remember, these are no ordinary pages. These are rural rampages. TTFN.